Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna Crossland. For those of you who are new here, hi, welcome. If you love makeup, I love makeup, and I think it's meant to be. So hit subscribe, let's be makeup friends. Today in the mail, I received a package and I was so excited because it is from Shop Alter Ego and they released their newest palette called Shadow Kiss. Shadow Kiss is supposed to be the inspired palette of the Natasha Denona Glam palette. Now, I do not have the Natasha Denona Glam palette, but I'll post it here so you can see what the inside looks like. When this first released, I almost bought this palette. It is $65 and I just loved the cooler tones. I thought it was just a beautiful palette, and I do like Natasha Denona formula. I only have some of a mini palette and I do really like that formula, so I would assume I'd really like this palette. But it's $65 and I kind of was like, I don't really want to pay that much for an all neutral palette right now at the moment. I would rather, you know, pay more for something that I found to be more of an interesting color story. But I saw that Shop Alter Ego was coming out with a doopity doop. So here is this one, super pretty, a lot of obviously neutral colors. I feel like this is beautiful for day to night, smoky eye. This is like your smoky classic smoky eyeshadow palettes, I feel like. So if you enjoy makeup flat lays and looking at swatches to kind of help make your decision on whether or not you need a palette in your life, then go follow me at For the Love of Glitter. I love doing swatches. I do it on bare skin. I do finger swatches and I try and show you up close, and I strive to do it in the sunlight because that's just my favorite type of lighting to use, is natural lighting. Since I unfortunately do not own the original Natasha Denona, today I'm going to treat this as though it's just a normal palette review because I do not have the Natasha Denona to compare it to. But what I will say is, in the past videos I've seen, when I've compared them to when I did have the original palette to the Shop Alter Ego palette to compare to, their swatches were pretty much dead on. There was maybe one or two that was just slightly different, so I'm sure someone else will be comparing them for you guys, and they're usually, like I said, pretty dead on. Sometimes the Shop Alter Ego even has their shimmers are even more intense than the original, so sometimes it ends up actually looking better. We're gonna get into swatches. I actually did already swatch this one by accident because I thought I was filming but I didn't press record, so yay me. So the first one is this one right here, and it is Shimmer Everything. I felt like swatched really nicely. I didn't really have any issues. I don't really have many issues with any of these shadows. I usually don't, so they usually perform pretty nicely in all the Shop Alter Ego ones I've ever had. A lot of the shimmers are pretty intense and very light, kind of just like all over the lid types of shades. Some of them are really dark, sultry type shades. So I do feel like you can get a lot of different types of looks. Here's the first row. All right, next we have Risk. This is just a very light gray, like very barely there, like light gray. Basically, it could be a brow bone or just help blend out some shades. Okay. So today I was like, let me try these magnetic lashes for this video, and one keeps popping off. One is staying on really good. This one keeps popping off. So if you see this one like go crazy, it's because I had these magnetic lashes I wanted to try out. Yeah, that thing is like not, she is not staying on. Everything's very buttery. Sometimes I do think they have some really pretty shimmers. I do still use them wet to make them more intense. Okay guys, we're coming up to my favorite shade in the entire palette. It's what I used on the lid, Shroud. Oh my gosh. There's no more beautiful taupe in this world than Shroud. You can't tell me otherwise. You can't. It's gorgeous. It's the most stunning shade ever. So this shade, Shroud, is like packed full of micro glitters and it's amazing. But here they are all up close so far. I don't think mattes are like as exciting to swatch, but you can tell that it looks very creamy. Those two look kind of similar, but they're different at the same time. Like they just have different undertones. So I'm loving all these light shades for inner corner, all over the lid. This is the deepest shade. Oh, it's kind of like a smoky charcoal and a beautiful bronze. There's the palette. Everything swatches really nicely. I feel like the dark one was the only one I really had to build up just because it's like, it's almost like this creamy, it's just like such a creamy consistency that like it kind of drags a little different than other shadows. I don't know, but we're gonna get into the demo. This is the look. This fun eyelash is so much fun. All right, we're gonna get into the demo and we're gonna continue with this video, even though this eyelash is like, no, you're not. No, you're not. So excited to try this on the eyes. We're going to start off with their eye primer. They sent it to me with this package. It's called Alter Ego Eyeshadow Base. I'll have to look up how much this costs. I have not ever tried their eyeshadow base before, but I figured since they sent it with this package, we're going to test it out. So this eyeshadow base has like a little just doe foot applicator. It seems to kind of just sheer out. Feels very soft. It reminds me of a lot of other kind of drugstore primers like this. It kind of almost reminds me of the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer too, the way it feels. It might be a little less thick and more sheer. We'll just put some like that. Just kind of rub it out, tap it out. Feels nice, definitely is more of a sheer. I can't tell if it like dries down, but there it is compared to no primer. Definitely smooths things out. It does almost seem to dry a little bit to like a powder, but I don't think it's completely dry, which I don't really like them to really completely dry down because I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose of having it stick. We're gonna start off with Vanish, which is kind of funny because in pan, the word vanish kind of vanishes, but I think that's just mine. It looks like it's worn off a little bit for some reason. Okay. So far, very pigmented. Very nice. I think this primer is really helping it stick in place too, which is really nice as well. That's why like the e.l.f. Eye Putty Primer, it does the same thing, and I feel like it's acting like the e.l.f. Eye Putty Primer, but it's not as sticky, so it's kind of crazy it's able to act that way. I'm kind of curious to see the difference between this one and these two down here. I honestly think these two are going to be more taupe colored. We're going to take one of them underneath the lid just to see. We'll take this one called Shade. Oh yeah, you can tell the difference between those two colors. I was kind of wondering if on the eye they kind of look the same, but there's a difference for sure. There is only one option to deepen up, and it's the shade down here, and it's called Umbra, and it's like this very charcoal-y type shade. There's like kick up, but not like an overly amount, and it's very pigmented, if you can tell. I feel like the primer really holds it in place, but then it's a little bit, takes more work to blend out because it does do such a good job at kind of holding it down where you want it. I'll take some of that we put under the eye. Taking some of that shade we put under the eye to kind of help blend it. Okay. Of course, here's the part that I'm the most excited for. It's the shimmers. The shimmer that I was the most excited to use is this one called Shroud, because it just has like intense little micro glitter sparkles. So we are going to use that. This is on a wet brush, but oh my gosh. This shade, in my opinion, is probably one of the most unique shades in this palette because it does have so much glitter to it. It's very pretty. And then we're going to take Dare on the inner corner. You have a lot of options for light sparkly shades. So that makes me very happy. Got a nice smoky eye going on. We're gonna take some of Fog under the eye just because it's kind of close to Shroud but less glitters. I think I'm gonna go back into the original color we started with just to help blend it all out. I'm gonna repeat what's on this eye on the other eye. Here is the finished look. I did add another color under the brow bone. Under the brow bone, I went in with Disguise, this shade here. It was just nice, light, and bright, and very shiny. I think we created a very pretty smoky eye look. I really like this palette. I could see myself getting a lot of use out of it, especially if I'm in a teaching setting, because you can go from day to night looks very easily. If you were doing a daytime look, I would probably just skip out on the deepest shade, and then you definitely have a great everyday neutral palette. I feel like it's also perfect for a classic kind of smoky eye look, but not using like a regular black, and it's very beautiful. All the shimmers are really pretty as well. Gosh, this eyelash. I feel like for $16, this isn't bad, and if you've been eyeing the Natasha Denona palette, then this might be for you. You also can use my code GLITTER. It's not an affiliate code. I don't make money off of it, but it will give you 10% off. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and use that code. I love that it has a mirror. I love their packaging. This is something that I would get everyday use out of, and I do really like the look we created today. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I'm really glad I didn't pick up the Natasha Denona now, because there's this, and I'm perfectly fine even if it's not the same exact identical quality as Natasha Denona. I know Natasha Denona's great. I know she's she's awesome. But this is $16 versus $65, and I'd much rather spend $16 and have to maybe work a little bit more with a shadow versus spending $65. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So beautiful, cool toned, neutral palette. I think it will work pretty well with most skin tones. I think the only one you might have to worry about if you're a deeper skin tone is probably this light gray one, because it is really light. Like I said, you might just want to use it to kind of mix with the shade to kind of help blend out. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think they're all very pretty. They're all very shiny. They're all beautiful. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye.